The 2024 NFL Draft is here, and this is my reaction to the first round because we got surprises, baby. We got agents upset and some very cool picks, and one that I hate with the power of 1,000 suns. But we got to talk about it. And you might wonder why I'm all dressed up today. Got the chain, got the watch, everything, because it's the draft, baby. You got to dress for the job that you want. But first of all, location drafts are amazing. Detroit did a great job. Kansas City did a great job. This is a genius idea by the NFL. The fans get involved. Hundreds of thousands of people show up. They show out. The commissioner gets booed. I love it. But Caleb Williams, we knew he would be the number one pick, and that's where he went. I have expressed my concern over Caleb Williams and his emotionalness and if that's going to be the thing that breaks him. But here is what I would tell Bears fans, because I've been reading online and talking to Bears fans. They're a little bit nervous about this pick. And it feels like Married at First Sight when in the last season, the guy's like, I'm afraid I'm going to cheat on you. I'm afraid I'm going to break your heart. I'm not a good man. All of that. That's the way Bears fans are. They know they're loyal, but they don't know how to have a great quarterback because they've never had it. So I will give you 2 words of advice, Bears fans. Be open to different things. Open to the idea that your history can change. Give this a chance. Give yourself some self-care. Maybe go get a manicure for the first time. You and Caleb might end up at the same place. And do not tell me that you will paint your face, but you will not paint your nails. But you guys got to be open to the weird guy, because Caleb's a little bit weird and eccentric, is who he is. But if you guys support him, you will not be the one to break him. It will be people outside the fan base. Even if the Bears have a great year, go 7-10, 8-9, 9-8, something like that, there's still a lot of games lost, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on him because people want him to play immediately, and they are expecting him to with all the tools that they have put around him at the wide receiver position. But I'm going to tell you, because they tried this with Mitchell Trubisky in 2017, Justin Fields in 2021, and I know it's a new regime at general manager. However, though, let Brett Rippon and Tyson Bagent take those first reps. Let him prove that he is the best one. That is the best thing that you can do for Caleb Williams. Lincoln Riley figured that out, and you got to take that same approach. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem on your hands, people. Why on earth, after they drafted Caleb Williams, were the Bears brass high-fiving, acting like they pulled off a damn coup, man? They were sitting there high-five. You knew who you were going to draft for months. You have been acclimating him to the city, to the playbook, to the organization, and everything else. Come on, man. You did it for the gram. You did it for the picture. That's all right. I'm not mad, but we know what you did. And that leads to the next part of the chalk that happened at the top of the draft. Jayden Daniels. Washington fans are nervous too because people keep comparing this dude to RG3. He is not RG3. That's not who he is. He actually is very confident and knows who he is. And he's not going to live and die with every sack and every interception. He's mature. His demeanor is cut out for being an NFL quarterback. Now, the difference that he had between head coaches and Herm Edwards and Brian Kelly, it should show you that if he's not performing, the adjustment should be at the top and not with him. And there is no excuse for Cliff Kingsbury to struggle here, because look at the quarterback room that's around there. Marcus Mariota, who was the number 2 overall pick, who's been through ups and downs in the league to be able to help the young man. Jeff Driscoll, Fromm. Don't throw him out there either until he's ready. However, he has the best quarterback room to help the young man succeed. And that leads us to the 3rd overall pick, which is chalk for a lot of the mock drafts. I know there was a whole lot of J.J. McCarthy talk at that point. We knew that was not happening at number 3. The owner, Robert Kraft, has not had a great offseason, but this is a chance for him to build some goodwill with the fans, because that documentary made him look a little bit vindictive. And then the reports that he sabotaged Bill Belichick's interview with the Falcons, he's got to do something here. So they draft Drake Maye. And the kid is super talented. He looks the part, a little reckless with the ball at times. But Robert Kraft has to put a better team around him with Gerard Mayo at the helm as the new head coach, because this wide receiver room might be the worst in the entire NFL. So if you can get away with it, put Drake Maye on the bench, let Bailey Zappi or Jacoby Brissett take all the lumps. Otherwise, you're going to be in a situation like Bryce Young last year. Terrible roster. You threw the dude out there, and now people are bashing him for no reason when you have not set him up for success. Now, before we get on to the next picks, I want to talk about the players that were in the green room, because this year we only had 13 players in the green room. A little bit abnormal. The question is why? We'll find that out probably after the draft. Terrion Arnold, Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, J.C. Latham, Latu Latu, Drake Maye, Quinyon Mitchell, Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Darius Robinson, Brian Thomas Jr., and Dallas Turner. And the draft stayed chalk from there. Number 4, number 5, 6, 7, and then it got crazy at 8. But you had number 4, Marvin Harrison Jr., going to the Cardinals. Finally, Kyler Murray can stop complaining about not having a big-time offensive weapon, and now he has one. Now you're going to take away any excuses, because Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to come in and be a wide receiver who's going to be able to play immediately, and Kyler Murray is going to be able to show whether he's a top 5 worthy quarterback and being face of the franchise, or whether he's the guy that you're going to have to replace in short order. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. will be wide receiver 1 coming in. He's going to be paired with Trey McBride, and the Cardinals should finally be able to keep up offensively in the NFC West. Then you had at number 5, Joe Alt to the Chargers. Pretty chalk. Number 6, Malik Neighbors, LSU wide receiver. And I saw him, man, and when he did his interview after with Molly McGrath, I was like, yo, this looks like a dude who's ready to come in and play. Like, sometimes when you it's not always indicative, but sometimes you see guys, you're like, oh, wow, they ready to play right now. And that's what I think about Malik Neighbors, because he got that Odell Beckham Jr. in him, Kadarius Toney, like something like that in terms of that electricness. But is this situation going to be different? And is he going to be happy and be able to have the production there when the Giants were actively looking to replace Daniel Jones? So hopefully Neighbors can do for Jones what he did for Jayden Daniels and turn a timid passer with great running ability into a true dual threat and a really good quarterback. Then the Titans took J.C. Latham, which is Nick Saban's 50th first round pick since he's been at Alabama. Do you realize how crazy that is? 17 years, 50 first round picks. That's damn near 3 a year. Incredible. And then number 8, this is where the draft got very interesting, because the name that popped up on the screen was Michael Penix Jr. He went from where he's not going to have to play right away. That is amazing, because the Falcons already have Kirk Cousins, which is perfect. He is going to get that Jordan Love treatment in Chicago. Now, was it smart for the Falcons to use the 8th overall pick on a guy that's not going to play right away? Maybe so, because you have to have a plan in place, and the Falcons' offense is set. Could they have done an upgraded defense a little bit? Yes. But this is a team that is going to be able to come in and play and compete right away. Now, the question is, are the Falcons learning from the Jets last season and just making sure that their late 30s quarterback that's coming off an Achilles isn't solely responsible for the team's success? Because Kirk Cousins is a really good quarterback when it comes to fundamentals, and that's where Penix gets a chance to learn, because you can say what you want about Kirk Cousins, but he's a professional, puts up good stats, and he is a quarterback, truthfully, that you should be able to win a Super Bowl with. At number 9, the Bears took Rome Odunze, and Chicago said, F our history. We're the 99 Rams now, the greatest show on turf. And this is the craziest wide receiver room in the NFL, probably. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and now the rookie Rome Odunze. He's not a great inside route runner, and he's not super twitchy, but the kid can ball. And he is going to, this whole wide receiving crew is going to present matchup nightmares. And if you're Justin Fields, you're looking at this like a homeless person outside a bakery. Like, what the hell? Where was all this for me, fam? Where was all this for me? Now, Caleb Williams is going to have no excuse. Now, Jay Cutler only had 1 year as a top 15 passer in the league while he was in Chicago. Now, if Caleb doesn't equal that in year 1, it's going to be a disappointment. At number 10, this is where the draft started going crazy, man. So the Vikings traded up into the 10 spot, and they sent number 11, number 129, which is a 4th round pick, number 157 for number 10 to the Jets, and number 203. And then they jumped up and drafted J.J. McCarthy. Perfect fit, man. Perfect fit, because Sam Darnold, who, and mind you, everybody knows I'm not a huge J.J. McCarthy fan, but this is a good situation for him because Sam Darnold should be able to hold down the fort for a minute, right? He should be able to hold down the fort because this kid is going to need to sit for at least 1 year, but he does have Justin Jefferson. And Sam Darnold should be able to do a good enough job with that. But when you draft a quarterback this high, Darnold's probably going to have a short leash. And that means that J.J. McCarthy is not going to have the privilege of waiting. And he needs to prepare from day one like he could be given the keys. And he never produced at Michigan in a way that suggests that he will be a star, but he is a winner. And Harbaugh hyped him up like he was Don King promoting a Tyson fight. So we'll see. Number 11, Ulo Fasciano, the Jets. Oh my God, are you serious? How could they find a way not to do the wrong thing? How? They found, yes, they have 2 tackles, but Tyron Smith and the other kid, they're old and they're always hurt. So you draft a kid who can learn from 2 really good players and be ready to play maybe at the end of the year if one of them gets hurt, because neither one of them has played a full season in a while. So we'll see. And then number 12, I want to throw something. The damn Denver Broncos. What the hell is going on, fam? What the hell is going on? The damn Denver Broncos. Bo Nix? Oh, the Drew Brees comparisons, they are about to be put to the test because this Broncos roster is awful. And I did not want Bo Nix to go there, but I do believe that he can have some success with Sean Payton. But the question, though, is this roster, which is probably 2 years away from being decent, are they going to be A-okay? Or did the Broncos do this to F over the hated rival, the Las Vegas Raiders? Because Bo Nix is going to have to go head-to-head with Zach Wilson. They're damn near the same age. Bo Nix has played a lot of football. He's a good leader, and he's going to be able to stand whatever is, he's mentally ready and prepared to stand for whatever is going to come up for him. Before we get on to the next pick, we got some tea about that number 8 Falcons pick with Michael Penix Jr. Some tea here. So Kirk Cousins was obviously there. Apparently, he had no idea until the Falcons were on the clock, according to Diana Rossini, because people had been reporting Kirk Cousins didn't know. But they called him when they were on the clock, and apparently he knew that a quarterback was in consideration, but he did not think his successor would be drafted in the first round this year. Damn. Sounds like a very Aaron Rodgers situation with Jordan Love. But he just signed that big contract. He ain't going nowhere, so you just got to suck it up, buddy. This is the way the cookie crumbles. And then the Raiders, who got blocked out of the quarterback business by the Vikings and then the Broncos. So they got blocked because nobody was going to trade with them. The Bears weren't going to trade at 9. Obviously, the Titans, they wanted an offensive lineman. They weren't going to trade down. So the Raiders got blocked out of the out of the quarterback business, out of the top 6 quarterbacks, there were 6 quarterbacks drafted. 14 straight offensive players. No defensive players drafted. What the hell is going on in this world? Because people are going to get value for these defensive players who should be top 10 players right now. And so, yeah, Brock Bowers drafted by the Raiders, and you're just sitting there just like, okay, this is a nice pick. I don't like the kid out of San Francisco comparisons. Hate it because he's not as physical as George Kittle. He's not as physical as a blocker. Can he run and catch? Absolutely. I believe Brock Bowers is going to do the run and catching part really, really well. And then the next pick in the draft was, Taliese Fuaga to the Saints. Man, watch this kid. All beliefs are that this kid is special because he's strong. He reminds me of a dude, Chris Naoli, I played with in Jacksonville, except for he played guard. This get nasty. Just good player. So I'm excited about him. Finally, after 14 picks of offensive players, are you kidding me? I've never seen anything like this. This is freaking unbelievable. 14 straight offensive players. Now, if you were categorizing the 14 best players like your big board, you would not have had those guys up there. But quarterback is a premium position. And you have, it was just a run. And now here comes the run on defensive players. So you're going to have players at the getting drafted now that people are getting great value. And that's the Colts at number 15 with Liatu Latu. I think that this kid is the best player in the draft at UCLA. He could not be blocked. He was an absolute problem. Only Taliese Fuaga, who went to the Saints, that kid was the only person who even gave him a little bit of trouble, and still he had trouble with him. So that's a great pick there at number 15 for the Colts. The Seahawks then went with Byron Murphy out of Texas, the defensive lineman. And, Seahawks people were like, we already have one of those. Why didn't you draft Dallas Turner, who went with the next pick? Because the Vikings traded up again. This is their second trade up in the draft. So they trade up from 23, which they had gotten from Cleveland, and they traded up from 23. The Jags get 23, a 2024 fifth round pick, a 25 third round pick, and a 25 fourth round pick, and Dallas Turner. And then and now that is 51 first round picks for Saban at Bama. The dude ran 4.46 as an edge rusher. He can play off the ball. The kid is special. The more impressive thing is Nick Saban. This is wild. When we talk about the Amarius Mims picked by the Bengals, oh my Lord. Hey, listen, I don't want to get things weird here, but this is exactly the way you want your offensive lineman to look when you draft him. Because there have been so many times that teams have drafted players that looked like they were going to eat themselves out of the league, one donut short of not being able to run. This is the dude looks slim, trim, guy is 6'6", 340, but looks like he's 280 and looks good in a suit. Man, that's the way I like my offensive lineman. Boy, that man look good. I see why them coaches be getting so excited. I was like, wow, that's a special looking kid. And then you had Troy Fontenot go number 20 to the Steelers. They needed an offensive line pick. The Rams, Jared Verse at 19. Chop Robinson to the Dolphins at 21. And then the Eagles took Quinyon Mitchell. Now, I thought that they were going to go with Jackson Powers Johnson because Jason Kelsey retired, so they need a center to replace him. But they went with the kid out of Toledo. The thing I didn't like, though, now, I know that sometimes when you're in the green room and you don't get drafted when you expect, that it can feel like it's forever, that it's going on forever and that you didn't get what you expected. But the disappointment on his face, I didn't like it. Now, hopefully he can recover. He was the first corner off the board. Hopefully he can recover. I mean, this is a kid who came from being a no-star, one-star, two-star kid, going to Toledo, first corner taken in a offensive heavy draft. Man, enjoy this moment. Like, don't let that, because you can't take your draft status with you. You got to go in and compete and ball out, and hopefully he can let that go and enjoy the moment, because this is a special time. You don't get it back. And that was the same thing that I did. That's why I could spot it on his face. I did not appreciate it as much because I was disappointed. And this is a special time. You just had something happen to you that few people have happened to them. Enjoy it. And then the next pick, you ended up having Brian Thomas, drafted out of LSU. So another wide receiver off the board. So you've already had Rome Odunze, you've had Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and now you got 4. So we'll see if the over or under hits on that one. He's headed to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's going to have a chance to pair with Trevor Lawrence, and we're going to see how this pans out. So after the Jaguars pick, you had a few trades. So you ended up with the Lions trading up with Dallas, and them coming up from 29 to 24 to draft Terrion Arnold. And I think that was a result of, obviously, the kid from Toledo being drafted. So the Lions were like, we need help at this position. So they went up. And then you had the Packers, David Bakhtiari gone. They drafted the kid out of Arizona, Jordan Morgan. The Bucs drafted Graham Connor out of Duke, the kid who's played tackle and center, so he's a versatile guy. They need both of those positions. Then 28, this is where some more magic happened. The Kansas City Chiefs traded up to get Xavier Worthy. This is their Tyreek Hill replacement. They were like, we need some speed on the outside, and what better than the fastest man in NFL Combine history. Dude is electric. Now, he did have a few too many dropsies when he was at Texas at times, but, I mean, he can run past anybody. So, and he's got Tyreek Hill potential. So we're going to see how that pans out, because Patrick Mahomes probably like, we can't do this not having a fast guy no more. This is what we like to do, and we need somebody to do it. And, and they were able to trade up and get that done with the Buffalo Bills, who need a lot of picks, who ended up trading out of the first round altogether. Then you had Dallas drafting Tyler Guyton, the offensive tackle from Oklahoma. Nate Wiggins, Ravens took him, fastest corner in the draft. And, and then number 31, the 49ers drafted Ricky Pearsall out of Florida by way of Arizona State. Google Ricky Pearsall tattoos. Google that. If this is not a compilation of the most hideous tattoos you've ever seen, or the most weirdest collection, just look at this. Come on, Ricky. And then you had the Panthers trade up from the first pick in the second round, trade up one spot with the Buffalo Bills. One spot. So they could have drafted the same guy tomorrow and did with the first overall pick in the second round, but they decided to jump up and get Xavier Leggett, South Carolina wide receiver, because they need help drastically. And that was an amazing first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. Thank you guys for joining me for the reaction show. Leave your comments. Peace out. Catch you guys later.